Is everybody in? Is everybody in? The show is about to begin.
Welcome to the podcast, concerts that made us, interviews and stories, tales from the bus. We love taking you back to when it all went down. The greatest live shows and that cheering crowd sound. It's concerts that made us, concertsthatmadeus.com.
Hi, this is John Treanor from the band Tombstones in Their Eyes, and you are watching Concerts That Made Us.
John, you're very welcome to Concerts That Made Us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
It's great now. I'm looking forward to diving into your music over the next bit. First off, Tombstones in Their Eyes recently released the album Asylum Harbor. Can you take us deeper into the album?
Well, this album was recorded, excuse me, of almost exclusively songs that were written last year, with the exception of two songs, one of which was like 8 years old. Another one was a couple years old. But so really the bulk of it is has to do with the feelings of last year. And the other ones, fit in with the general vibe. But yeah, those other eight, I was going through a really hard time. And they actually don't really wallow in that or say that out loud. In fact, I think some of them are almost happy in a way, but it's hard for us. I tend to be a little gloom and doomy, but this is where I get out all those feelings, and it's very helpful. So that's a little bit about where the album's coming from.
I like it. I like it. Now, I've heard it was ready for quite some time before it was released. Why the delay in releasing it?
Um, well, it's really fitting into the record company's schedule, and they have a busy release calendar. And we also, kind of waited around too long to order the vinyl and things like that. So it just worked out. But they at one point suggested I release it next year, and I was like, no way. It's got to come out this year. So.
I like it. I like it. Are you the type of guys that once you release a record, you like to kind of let it soak in for a while, or are you automatically onto the next project?
We or I, or I'll say we have about 30 songs already recorded from the past few years, 3 or 4 years, and so I haven't written as much in the last year, but I did write about 6 or 7. So there's plenty of stuff to get going with if you want to, and I really do like releasing like a record a year.
No shortage of stuff to keep listeners happy. So, and speaking of listeners, what do you hope listeners get from this album?
As always, when you express certain feelings or emotions, you hope that others can relate and it may help them in some way. I listen to a lot of like sort of sad music, and it really lifts me up, actually. So like I said, we get stuck in that sort of area sometimes, but yeah, I've heard some nice things from people.
It's funny you should mention listening to a lot of sad music. I do that myself, and I have some friends that don't understand, after maybe 15, 20 minutes of listening to sad music, your mood is automatically lifted and you find yourself in a better mood, and they just can't understand it. It's very strange.
Yes, it is. It is odd.
Yeah, yeah. Is there any specific tracks on the record that you're drawn to more so than others?
Yeah, for sure. The latest single, "I Like to Feel Good," is one of my favorites, and yeah. What else? "In Your Eyes," the track, the album opener, is good. I haven't got, like I haven't. I listened to it so much when we were doing it, and then I haven't listened to it as much recently, but I will. And yeah, those are my two favorites to begin with.
I love the video for the latest one, actually. It's nice the way it's cut between you guys on stage and then a drive through LA. Did you have
Yeah,
much input into the video? Did you?
yeah. I mean, I was the director, even though I don't know how to direct a rock video, and but it was my idea to do the sort of live footage, and then our bass player, who's also a video producer, he's done it in the past at least, and he suggests, he said we should have a B-roll, and that was the truck driving around. And a friend of mine loaned me that truck. It's a 1959 Ford Apache, so it's very rare.
You mentioned the bassist. You've got two new members, Joel Wasko and
Yeah.
Clea Cullen. Joel is the bassist, Clea is on vocals. What kind of effect have they had on the dynamic of the band?
Let's see. So Clea came in first, and I originally asked her, let me back up. We had a bass player that we were paying, Nick Nafusi, great bass player, great guy, but I couldn't afford to pay him anymore, and that's how he makes his living. So I have no hard feelings about that, but I had to move on and find someone who's going to be part of the band. So Clea tried out, and the bass playing didn't work out, but her voice is so beautiful. I asked her if she would stay in the band and sing, and down the road she'll probably play some keyboards, things like that. And then Joel was the second person I tried out for bass, and he just worked out. He's great. He's familiar with the scene, knows a lot about putting on independent shows, which will help us down the road. And this video, I mean, he was fantastic, and he's still fitting in, learning how to fit in with our drummer Steven, but it sounds great, so.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, the band as a whole, it formed a decade ago.
Yeah.
If John from back then could take a look at the band nowadays, what do you think he'd say? How would he feel?
I would be blown away, because it started with two people who weren't even in the same city. And now I have, 5 other people who are going along with this craziness. It's cool.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The podcast is called Concerts That Made Us, so I need to ask you some concert-related questions if you don't mind.
Sure thing.
First off, as a concert goer, what concerts would you say have made you?
Really, I can't. I have to say the Rolling Stones in Baltimore, Maryland at the Capitol Center in 1975. So I'm old, but I was only 10 at that time. So my dad took me, and it just blew me away. It led me down the path, right? So that was massive. And yeah, that's really the one.
That beats a lot of others. I have to ask, have you seen them since?
No.
No.
I know, it's weird, but no, I haven't really had the desire because I haven't, liked their output as much, I mean, they can play the classics, but as the band members drift away, I heard they put on a great show last time, that's all I'll say. So.
Right. And from the types of shows you go to, say listeners and fans of your music, is there any that you've been to that they would be surprised or shocked at?
Oh, that's a good one. Wow. No, I can't think of any. No, because they all kind of fit in some way. I mean, one of the best other concerts I went to, which totally fits, was Oasis at the Hollywood Bowl, way back when, and, things like that. So, no, I haven't been to any K-pop shows or anything like that.
Right, right. Are you going to catch Oasis on the reunion?
We'll see, how many or how much the tickets are. But I would love to. I mean, those songs, hearing them sung by a whole audience, was pretty cool.
Yeah, I could imagine. And the moment we're all waiting for any listeners that haven't been lucky enough to catch one of your shows, what are they like? Give us the full experience if you can.
Well, it's a new experience now with 6 people, and we're going to incorporate some smoke and some lighting, whereas before we just showed up and did our thing in these little bars. And we're really trying hard to make it more of an event type situation, and be really good, so we're practicing a lot, and we'll probably start playing out in late November, early December, and, just get that going. So like I said, hopefully some strobes, hopefully some fog, smoke, and we'll go from there.
In the past, you've said that you play shows to kind of deal with or overcome anxiety and depression. For a lot of people, the thoughts of playing a show would be hugely anxiety inducing. Can you talk to us a bit about that?
Well, I don't think I meant so much shows, but I will say that, yeah, I'm definitely fearful of going on stage, but there's something about it that's such a high, so that definitely would lessen those feelings. But really, it's the music itself, writing the music, that helps me deal with that.
Understandable, understandable. Now, out of all the shows you've played over your entire career, is there one that sits above the rest? You know, it just couldn't have got any better?
I would have to say not yet with this group. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, because we played in different formats, and, with different group amount of people in the band, different members, and I'm just trying to remember. Actually, one of the first shows we did at an art space downtown, and was pretty cool, and just a funky, different kind of space, not a club, because otherwise we pretty much play in normal clubs, and those aren't that interesting. So.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Bit of a fun one then. Is there, if we switch that around, is there a show you would consider the worst? You know, things just went wrong, and how did you overcome it?
Oh yeah. Okay. So we were supposed to play at this little mini festival called International Pop Overthrow. I had never met the guy, but he asked us to play, and I said okay. And then he gave us a slot that was Monday at 10 o'clock. Right?
Nice.
So, am I going to pay a bass player to do a few practices and do the show, have everybody, drive in to do a 10 o'clock Monday show? And the answer is no. So what I did was got one guitar player and Courtney, one of our singers, and I was going to do an acoustic show. And when I took a brand new guitar that I'd never played live, and the fucking thing wouldn't stay in tune. It was so embarrassing. So luckily I had an acoustic guitar, and when we started doing that, it was much better. But yeah, that was horrifying.
Yeah, it doesn't sound too fun now. Doesn't sound fun.
No.
And when it comes to showtime, then your pre-show and post-show, how do you like to psych yourself up? And then afterwards, how do you like to wind down?
Okay, pre-show. Really, I'm just in a different space at that point. I can't really talk to anybody. I'm just sort of within, and so I don't really psych myself up. It's. I guess maybe I am, but nothing obvious. And then after the show, like I said, the high is so good. I just stick around and talk to some people and thank them for coming, things like that. And of course, unloading the gear or taking the gear off the stage.
Has to be done.
Yeah.
And when you think of bucket lists, stuff like that, at this stage in your career, you've had the band for a decade. What are some things you'd still like to achieve?
Really, my dreams for sort of this, or whatever I wanted when I got into music, I've achieved. So all I really wanted in the beginning, and this goes way back to my 20s, I just wanted to have written some songs, played some shows, and could maybe call myself a musician. And so what I started with this band 10 years ago has gone way beyond that, and I love it. And there's definitely a push to get to the next plateau. But I think really the only thing I would want to do is become a really good live band at this point. That's it. Yeah.
I like it. I like it. Not too complicated.
Yeah.
And before we dive into the last couple of questions, then future plans that are set in stone, anything you can share with us?
It's mostly the live thing. Once we start playing shows, I want to play quite a bit and maybe bring it up to San Francisco or San Diego or somewhere close, and who knows down the road.
The final few questions are a couple of fun, random ones. First off, what, besides music in the band, what are you currently obsessed with?
Okay. What am I trying to think. I'm really not. Sorry.
Right.
Yeah,
The band
that's
takes
it.
all your time.
It kind of does, life is so busy. I guess I'm obsessed with the Dodgers playing in the World Series,
Okay.
of baseball, which is a big deal over here. And, it's our home team. So that's great. I've been obsessed with that. Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't think of anything.
No problem, no problem. And the next one, if you had to spend 24 hours locked in a room with any musician from history, who would it be?
Oh, man. I think Keith Richards, because I think he would have a lot of good stories to tell. I like the way he speaks. He's very, he's funny. And, a lot of the guys I could think of might go on and on about weird stuff that I want to hear. So we'll see.
True, true. Would you like young Keith Richards now or old or wiser Keith Richards?
I think older.
Yeah, less dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
And the final one, so what's your go-to album? An album you constantly revisit?
Oh, that's a good one. It's changed over the years, of course, but right now I do a lot of mixes. I listen to a lot of mixes. But as far as an album goes, really the main album I've discovered in the last 10 years was by a band called Power Trip. They're from Texas, sort of a new hardcore, it's like hardcore / metal. It's really good, and their record. I can't remember what it's called. It's not Manifest Decimation. Anyways, it's the last record they put out before the singer died. It's so good from start to finish, so that always makes me feel good.
I like it. I like it. I'll have to check it out. So, listen, John, this was an absolute blast now. Thanks a million.
I appreciate you having me, and have a great rest of your evening or day or whatever time it is where you are. Whoa.
Hey guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please rate and review us on iTunes and Spotify. And if you're interested in signing up to Band Builder Academy, use the link in the show notes below and enter the code CONCERTS and you'll receive 10% off. So, until next time, keep rockin'.
Hey, what are you guys still doing here? The show's over. It's over. You can go home. Go on. We'll see you next time. We'll be here.